Hey everybody, how's it going? I think I got it all together today. All I need to do is look at the VU meter on the display and I would know. How's everybody doing? I've had a long day. I went to the doctor early this morning just to talk, and it was like way too early for me. Although I think I had an appointment earlier recently, probably another half an hour earlier. But man, it's so tiring. Like I get up early all the time, like at that time to go walking, but we had no water. We had a pipe burst. I mean, it's not bursting, right? I believe it's corrosion. So under the house, we have a raised foundation, and under the house there was some galvanized pipe, and it corroded. I mean, at an intersection maybe. I wasn't crawling around underneath there. But goodness gracious. Hey, Zacho. So yeah, it was 2 days without water. Not quite 2 days, but it really was 2 days because it went out the night before. But Nikki heard it. Like I was asleep and she heard something, and it was close enough to our bedroom so that we knew, because that's near where the water main comes into the house, and that's where the connection on the underside of the house, that's where that leaked. And so I was able to go out and cut it off and then just figure it out, like get the right people to come out and do it. The first guy we had come out was a little too big to get around underneath there. He got under there, but he's like, I will have troubles if it doesn't, if it's not easy. And I totally understand. I used to have no problems being in confined spaces, and then, good gosh, a long time ago, I was with my cousins, and they wanted to get into this jungle gym, and I'm like, oh sure, I'll do that. And I had my Doc Martens on. I'm wearing Doc Martens today. I've pretty much always worn Doc Martens. There maybe for a little while I took a break from them, but I got stuck in a little spot with a padded flat space, and I was like, oh my gosh, like how am I going to get out of this? They're going to take this thing apart. And so I just calmed down and unfolded myself and was able to do it. But I cannot even imagine like getting stuck. It's not bad, but like there's some drains that are in the way at one point, and I think this is what the guy was worried about. And he's a real nice guy, and he recommended the guys that ended up doing the job. Two little guys that were just fantastic and fast, and got in there and just really, really got it done. But it was crazy. So yeah, we know more about the whole situation, which is helpful because we didn't, I'd never been underneath there. I had no idea how much, because it's copper under the house mostly, except for that 6 feet or whatever it is. So they fixed all that. It was great. Showed us video and everything, so I didn't have to get under there and check. So other interesting news, Atomic Mass Games, I have some of their paints here. They have let go some folks. And one of our friends left about a month ago, I think, maybe a little longer than that. They're cutting back their games. So they're mostly focusing on like the main ones, which are Marvel Crisis Protocol and Star Wars Legion. I think that's correct, which is terrible. That means Star Wars Shatterpoint is not gone, but it's not going to have the release schedule and stuff, which is a bummer. Hey, Sirik. Hey, you're going to do taxes. Well, maybe I'll try to be mellow for you. We have not done ours yet, and we need to do the same. We usually use like TurboTax. I mean, I've been using it for decades now, and it does a pretty good job for us, so I need to get on it. I don't want to wait till April, although we're not traveling in that time frame like we normally do it, but I still would rather just get it done. Hopefully it'll all be easy enough. Usually is. We don't have any really complicated stuff. But my mom also, she's great. She knows this stuff, so she can help me with any questions I have. Generally, I mean, she's getting older, so it's maybe getting a little bit more distant, but it still should be fine. What else did we do? We got the water fixed, which was great, and they did it really great. Like, the one thing that was concerning about us before this happened, we thought that's what had burst or leaked. Wow, this stuff is crazy. Cancel. 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 Stop. There we go. Yeah. I think I said your name, and that continues to do that. I need to like turn that off. Anyway, I don't even use it. How do I get out of that? Whatever. Is that it? I need to turn that off. I don't use any. I do not like most of the agents. We use Alexa a little more, but even that one usually responds. It's pretty fun when you're watching something and something that's said on the show will trigger it. It happens with this as well on my iPhone that I have, but I don't use it. I don't like the iPhone's one. Anyway, but yeah, thankfully Nikki heard it. It was on for about leaking for about 5 minutes. But so outside there's a riser that has a hose bib, and that is used to irrigate some of the plants up there that Nikki doesn't use in that manner anymore. We thought that was leaking, and we get out there, it's 1 a.m. or something like that, and that's not the problem. So I was like, oh my goodness. So we did just cut it off. We had that part easy enough, but man, it was a crazy mess. So thankfully these guys were great and fast. Not a fun process though. Not fun or inexpensive, but that's how it is. I'm not crawling underneath there. Oh, no worries. Your name is a what do they call it? A instant dune. I don't remember. In the original Dune, with the weirding module. I think they used that instead of nukes because nukes are probably super not great at that time. And now they use nukes on the new one. Anyway, so let me cut to the table. If I can get that going. I should be able to do this. Make sure I'm in the right window. Nope. Nope. Yep. There we go. I need to get all that smoother. Anyway. Hey, but at least I have the microphone going and stuff's running. Hey, Fortuna D-Town. How you doing in Germany? Oh my gosh, it's got to be pretty late, right? It's 3 a.m. or something almost. Our friend Christoph, who has been on the show several times, he was writing that he had played games tonight and then watched our episode for Shall We, which we put out this. It's pretty funny because we filmed that one in, I believe, September or October. It might have been September. I say something in the video about it being Knizia's 40th anniversary in game design. And then we found out about what is the game? Sanibel. And it's another shell collecting game. And I was like, well, but we liked that one. It's the Knizia game. It's actually Start 11. I was trying to remember the name earlier, and I just remember now. Was, I think, the original version of it 12 or 15 years ago or something like that. And we have it, but we never played it. I don't think there was ever translated rules. And it's based on some older game, like an old game. But, like that was the starting point. It's pretty awesome. So I want to try that again, just for funs. We might do it on the show or something, at a live stream at some point. But we have a bunch of stuff. We have too many things. We got some new games that we purchased, some new games that were sent to us. But you're free tomorrow. That's good. You can stay up late and not worry about it. I'm at the point now that I would prefer to try to get to bed at a regular hour. Doesn't mean necessarily early, but it doesn't work out that way all the time. Either I get wrapped up in something, or I have, I actually had today's episode ready on Tuesday, probably because we knew that the house was going to be worked on. Even though the first guy came on Tuesday evening, and I was like, well, we won't be getting it done tonight. But you know, he saw what was going on and knew that it wasn't going to really be easy for him. So he said, I can do it if we wait for my son to come back. He was going to be back on the weekend, and which would have been perfectly fine. You know, ultimately, we were just super happy to have it done. I'm sure they both would have done a great job. Euphrat and Tigris is still, yeah, it's definitely a better version, a better game than this one. But I like this one, and I also love Raw. Raw is phenomenal. As a matter of fact, Rusty might have taught it last night. I should ask and see how that went. There's a local game store, and a new friend of ours started a game night thing. I think there's been something in play all along that was teach the store owner a game, and he would give you $20 credit for the store, which is pretty awesome. And I think the part that our friend started was just a regular meetup, and it costs to go to the event. It's like $5, but they give you store credit for that $5, so it's actually pretty great. Encourages you to spend something in the store, and it works out pretty great. I would like to go. It's Wednesdays, although I could have done it yesterday. Although we went, what did we do last night? I think we had food. We had dinner at home, but we had for 2 days there because we couldn't wash dishes. We ate out. It was only 2 meals or something like that, but not easy. Okay, so now I'm going to put Trinket Trove. Awesome. I really love that game. We did film it. It'll be an episode. We did it with Deborah and Aaron. That'll be an episode probably next month. And then we really liked it. And spoilers, Aaron killed us. But yeah, I really enjoy it. We've taught a bunch of people. So, we're trying to thin our game collection out. And Scott, the owner of BGG, is like, well, how much are you going to be, play this game again? I'm like, because I was trying to get, Crystalla, the one we played on the show. There's only one copy in the BGG library, and that's the one we borrowed. So that needs to go back. And he's like, how much more will you play it? I'm like, well, people love it, and we're teaching people the game all the time. And we enjoy it. So, and it's quick. Quick enough anyway. And so that one I want to buy. I already had Christoph buy me a copy. He will bring it in May. This is the downer. So last week's episode was an import, and this week's episode is an import, and they're both difficult to get. But I really did like, well, aesthetically, I really like the new version of that game, the Shall We? The other one looks very, maybe Rummikube-ish, Man, that new, but speaking of Euphrat and Tigris, that new one from 25th Century and Ian O'Toole doing the art really looks great. I probably will buy it, even though I already have. We'll back it when it goes live, but we already have that game at least 2 or 3 times. I think I know at least 3. I have the original I bought, which was from Mayfair Games here in the United States, which is no longer around. They got bought by Asmodee and folded into, some of the stuff got folded into what did they get folded into? Lookout. And then, and mostly, I'm not really certain what that, it was sad that they sold. We knew Pete, but Pete was with, I don't know if I think he went to Catan Studios. So Pete, a really nice guy. And so those, that one was fine. Used the same wooden pieces. Art was different. It looked more like the Catan art. Whoever was doing the art in the United States, by the way, I believe. And then I have at least 1 or 2 copies of the original Hans im Glück, Euphrat and Tigris with the Doris Mathus art, which I love. And then because I think I bought one and then I got another one to give away. I'm always buying games to give away. And then I believe we have the version that Asmodee came out with a few years back. I think maybe it's 2017, but you know, all those games were, I think Knizia just wanted to shift things around to have, you know, maybe some more support from different publishers, which, believe me, it sounds like it makes sense because most publishers focus on the new stuff, understandably so. But in that case, you know, some classic games. That's the downer about Asmodee. I mean, not Asmodee. Amigo closing their U.S. operations. They just got Bonanza back because they weren't felt it wasn't getting enough attention in the U.S. You know, just, you know, it makes sense. It's an older game, but like if you think the game's classic and deserves the attention, then yes. I think I'll make a little bit more paint today here. So yeah, that was interesting, you know, like the shift around on that, but I would like to probably get the new one. It makes me wonder if they'll do some of the other titles as well, because, you know, they did the whole, all that Raw stuff. I don't know if they did Priests of Raw. People didn't really care for Priests of Raw, but the Raw dice game is available, and of course the new Raw and Right. Yeah, the wooden pieces are amazing. I believe they're the same ones on the Mayfair version. And I think that they were plastic on the most recent Asmodee one, I think. I don't even know if I've opened the box. It was one of those ones where I love the game, so I just bought it. I don't really remember. Might have bought it at Spiel. But I love the game. It's great. It's one of Scott's all-time favorite games. There used to be a version on that Reiner gave approval for a version that was online. You could play it online. And it was just random matching, I think. It was on BGG, little teeny window back in the day. And I loved playing that. It was just like, oh, hey, quick. You know, I mean, I could play at work occasionally on a lunch break. It was wonderful. I don't even know who I was playing back in the day, but really awesome. And then I think they were trying to do some online implementation. I don't know what ended up happening with all that stuff. That may be out there somewhere. I don't play a lot of the online stuff. We are talking about trying to play a little bit more with some friends that are not going to be around much. And so we'll see how that goes. I know Dave is on all the time. He's really great about using BGA. I just am not. I much prefer to play folks in local. Is Wizard's Chess that game store you were talking about, Cirque, that you really liked? I think you mentioned it before. I have not been to Colorado. Trying to figure out if I've been since I really got into board games. Maybe one time, because I went and visited my aunt in, must have been 2004, so it probably was when my grandmother passed away, and we played Ticket to Ride back then. I remember bringing that along. I should have brought a copy to give away, but who knows, they probably wouldn't have played it much more. We are crazy people. But yeah, I would like to. I like to go to game stores. That and now pinball arcades. I love going to both of those when we travel. But I love to see what they have to offer. I am saddened by how great usually game stores are elsewhere. We just don't have a ton of great stuff here. Yep, El Dorado is great. The version from, I would love to own the version from Libelude. My friend, Mike, who's on the show, has it. Not Libelude, Laura Polite. He has it with all the expansions. They don't match I don't know if it's card size changes, but they don't match. He's talked about having us play one of the expansions on the show. But yeah, I don't know. I really love that one. A friend, Daryl, just got a copy of that just recently for his Christmas gift, which is awesome because had I known, I would have tried to get involved in that a little bit more. His daughter knew that he wanted it, so that was awesome. But yeah, we love to go to the game stores, love to do the pinball, and so that's part of the fun of traveling. I don't think I've played any games in Europe. El Dorado, the Quest for El Dorado, I think is what they're talking about, Board Games James. How you doing? Hey, Spielfool. Pinball, yes, pinball's fun. Have a new pinball arcade in Littleton, awesome. We have a pretty good, both of them, it's a restaurant, it's a Korean barbecue restaurant. We have one nearer to us and then one a little bit further across the valley. And they have 24 to 28 games, I think, in each location. The one closest to us has fewer. But it's really great. And the Korean barbecue is fun too, so we like going there occasionally and doing that. Let's see if I can pick up this paintbrush. Yeah, I have the Ravensburger one as well. I have that one plus like one of the expansions. I don't know if that's all they put out in Ravensburger put out there. I thought that they might have done two, but I don't know if they did it the second one in English. But I really love it. But I would love to have the La Polite one. It's it's the Dutray art. The new version, I don't believe the original one had Dutray art, but the new version does, and Knizia owns the art, so he licenses it out, and I think La Polite's the only one that's done it. That may not be true. It might be some in Europe, or I mean in Asia. Okay, I am not going to handle it that way. I really want to avoid making the mess I made on the first one, where I touched the face of a miniature behind it. It was so terrible. So this is a little, what is this one? This is Carandas. Carandas green. Maybe with the yellow it's turned it into the, a little bit into the Scorpion, what is that one called? Striking Scorpion. It's a great color too though, but I just didn't want to have that bright. Striking Scorpion green, yeah, it's not the same. Closer though. I could put a little more green into it as I get further along. Our group is into, we've done Arkham Horror a few times on the show. We did, I have like a lot of that stuff. I don't have it all because I don't need it all. I have many of the little expansions, and I was dealing with space for it. But we don't play it often enough. We've actually been talking, we played it, I think, last year with Dave and Aaron. We did Edge of the Earth, which was great. But we, it's a great game, but I think it's probably best with, for an evening or something like that with friends, but also it's just probably best with two. And not that it's not good, it's great with the more when we did it with the four of us, but it just takes a long time. And not so great on the show, but we kind of want to do it again because GameGenic has new, a whole bunch of new Arkham Horror components. Like I think accessories, like bits, probably like kind of like our Geek Up bits, and new investigator tomes, which are more vibrant. I think the old ones were like black with like a green. I think we have them all, but black with like a color. And these new ones have more color in them, I think. So it's cool. I would love to check it out. And they have a mat and stuff like that. It would be really awesome. So we'll see. We don't really need to do it, but it would be fun. Edge of the Earth was really good. Yep, Lautapolit from Finland, exactly. They have a great version, and they have all the versions, and they're all, all the expansions, and they're all you know, like all the Dutray art, all a little bit more. I think the card size is different. I don't. Mike has it all, and I have said, I mean, that's the problem. We would do one of the new ones, and it probably wouldn't be available. It is the problem about doing stuff, especially right now. Even with the supposed ease on the tariffs, we'll see how that all goes. It just makes it hard to get international games. And you know, my hope, especially like with that, with the Crystalla, is that somebody will try to license it from Schmidt. It's such a good game. I just don't know. I mean, people are asking me, how do I get it? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's available. I mean, I actually looked at it on, you know, I usually would order stuff from Amazon DE and have it shipped, but like now with all the crazy shipping and stuff, I don't do that. I haven't done that, I mean, for a long time. Mostly when basically for the last few years, I've just had somebody pick it up for me and then bring it to me, or we pick it up when we go to visit in Germany. So we will probably go to Spiel this year, I imagine. We did not go this last year. We'll see. It's a lot of it. Part of it is just we had a lot of people from BGG going, and so it was easier for us to just stay home. But additionally, it's also important just because our parents, both Nikki's and my parents, are getting pretty old. And so it's not great if we're gone for very long. And when we go to Europe, we generally go for about 2 weeks, because we'll go visit some friends as well while we're there. But we'll see. Eesh, too much paint. Yeah, it's great with 2, but it's more fun on the show with more. That's the thing. We appreciate it with, and I think we've had a couple of strange issues on some episodes where we've had to film it more than once. And I know we messed up. I remember now what it was. We messed up Arkham Horror LCG by misplaying the upgraded cards. I think we had it in our head that, you know, Aaron is the one, he's really the Arkham. Now I don't know if he owns the LCG, but he loves the original game and has all the stuff, including I think most of the minis and stuff like that. We misplayed like our upgrades or something like that, so we had to film it again. And you know, it's 4 hours or something, like at least with us to film that. So that just, you know, that kind of puts a damper on the whole thing. It's not terrible, but it's just not great. But it is fun playing it, so it's not really. I would love to do another one though. I can't remember who I'd talked to about which one we should play. And I really liked the Edge of the Earth one. It was cool. And we haven't rebought like the base game or anything like that with the revised stuff. I mean, I believe when we did it, Aaron did the research on the changes, but mostly it's mostly cosmetic, I believe, with some stuff. No worries, Fortuna. I think you're doing great. It tickles your gamer's soul. That's great. Explains it well. Arkham's great though. For me though, it's more of a lifestyle game, that version of the game. I don't know exactly what happened with the 3rd edition. I think it was the 3rd edition of Arkham, standard Arkham Horror Arkham Horror game. We played it on the show. I guess that means we have it, but I didn't buy anything more. And you know, we love having all of that stuff. I mean, I basically have to slow down because we got into what is it called? The dice game. we got into the dice game. I bought everything I could get. We do not have all of Eldritch Horror. We have some of it. And I actually was trying to buy it from a local person that we've had on the show before. And he was agreeing to sell it, and then he thought about it, and he's like, you know, I don't want to sell it. And I'm like, okay, you know, let me know if you do sell it at some point, I'll buy it from you. And it was like mostly everything. And I would love to have all of that. It's kind of hard to get. I think basically what it does is it goes through print, you know, a new print run, and then it's available, and then it's gone again. But we also have Elder Sign, that's the dice one. And $60 CAD, is that kind of heavy price-wise? That seems good, doesn't it? With the, because I believe it's $40 or something like that, or 40 euros, maybe 30 euros. But it will be like nearly 40 for me, I'm sure. I really like the game though. I think it's a great one. I wonder what game store in Saskatchewan has it. I know some people there. But yeah, I like Crystal a lot. We've actually been playing some really good stuff. I really, really liked it. I actually bought it for Nikki for Christmas, the Ron Wright, because we played, I believe we played Rusty's copy. And with his sheets, you know, those are great. Nikki, oops, I'm sorry. Nikki was filming in here today, so she had a long day in here already. And she has to do more, but she's like, should I be in the background? I'm like, it's probably best that you're not. Although, I mean, what she's filming doesn't need her. It's not the voiceover right now, that's later. It was $30. Oh, wow, plus $10 shipping. Montreal, what store is it in Montreal? I used to buy from La Vallée or something like that. Gosh, I bought a bunch of stuff from there back in the day. When it was all nicer and easier to do that, it was, I don't know, it's crazy. I really liked that things were, you know, I used to order from Japan. I still do. I have ordered some stuff recently. And it has made it, all has made it, but I think most of that's like eBay too, where I've been buying from. So I'm really into 3D movies. And the Marvel stuff is only coming out in 3D in Japan. So I will order something from there and then get it eventually. I pre-ordered Thunderbolts, and I got that eventually, and then I pre-ordered, I haven't watched it yet in 3D because we did not see it in 3D. We actually saw it in Dallas, Fantastic Four, which, you know, I liked the movie. I like Pedro Pascal, and all that was cool. So what I'm probably going to do, I'm kind of building it up so that I can do a wash, a greenish wash over the whole thing that will hopefully darken it up a bit. We'll see. I'm going to experiment. I'm not actually going to do it on the Mini because I've already repainted 1.5 of these green skin, the green skin on 1.5 of these, so I don't want to do that again if I can help it. But I would like it to be, yep, La Vallée Decor. Is that the one? Oh wow, the Eternal decks. Yeah, I mean, I bought, so I think we bought some stuff. We bought the Christmas version of Nana, but we had a friend that was visiting from from Japan, who used to live here for a while and then had to move back when his visa ran out. And this was well before. I mean, I think it was in the first Trump administration, but like, you know, that's just hard. He was doing teaching here, and I mean, he's great. I went to visit Japan not too long after he moved back, and was really awesome. Well, where's the brush cleaner? Good gosh. And he was really nice, took us on tour. And I went to every game store in the area that I could. Again, I always love to go to the game stores and he was really helpful, and I bought a bunch of Konichiwa stuff that, you know, Japanese versions of the games, or some that was no longer available. I love Circus Locati, and they have a version that is in a park, like, you know, we joke, we sing the Chicago song when we think about playing it. I think we mostly just play the version I have, but I'm crazy and I'll have too much stuff. But as I said, we're trying to break down the amount of stuff we have, so if we can really focus on it. We have way too many games. And we're trying, you know, like Scott says, you know, you got to be tough. I'm like, absolutely, we really need to focus on it. And it's really up to me. Nikki is, I mean, there's some she'd probably question that she wouldn't want us to get rid of, but I honestly think I would know what those are. And we have worked on it together, but I've done most of it lately while she's not around, so that she doesn't have to fiddle with it. It's just crazy. But I have to just be honest with myself. There's many games that I'm like, oh, I guess I need to get rid of that one. We're not probably ever going to get to play that again. And some of them, like our friend Mark Johnson has always, I bought many games from him. He's like, it's good. I mean, yeah, I'm selling it, but you're going to have it. So if I really want to play it, I can play it with you. And that's a really good way to think about it all. You don't need to have, not everybody needs a copy of the game. So we'll get to it eventually. But yeah, I bought the Christmas version of Nana, and that shipped. That was able to ship, but the regular game could not. And we, you know, on the show we played the French version, which is Trio. We did that with Rusty, and we also played the regular one, the Nana one, which was fun. It doesn't help, you know, it doesn't help playing imports really, especially nowadays. It's a bummer, but like we like the games, so we want to, you know, I don't know. I think Cristal is worth getting. If you have the opportunity to get it, you should. And I think you probably have more of a chance in Canada because of, I'm pretty certain that it got released in the UK because it was multi-language. The first run anyway. I don't know about, like, the rule book online is only German. But we know the game enough, I think that we'll be okay. Well, he looks good. You didn't find any in the UK? Wow. Well, I mean, it's not even easily available. Like, Amazon does not have it being sold by Amazon in Germany. I think Christoph ordered it from Amazon and got it very quickly. Like, the next day he had it. it's, you know, I would love to have, I don't know, it was just great. I used to be able to order, we would order multiples, you know, multiple people would order stuff from Germany, and then we'd get them all shipped in one. I mean, they were doing that before I was in the group. They used to order from Adam Spielt and other companies that are no longer in existence. And, you know, they'd all order together. It would be a large shipment, cheaper shipping, you know, split that way. And, you know, I mean, we've carried games in the BGG store, and I would love to try, you know, I just don't want to have Scott get stuck with anything, so I never, ever really suggest it. We've had a little bit of, we mostly had like games from Taiwan and Korea and Japan in our store, and that's cool. And mostly we were buying stuff at the end. I think Eric used to buy them at the end of the con. They would come to us knowing that we had the store and that we could potentially get it to some international fans. And that was good, but they didn't always sell. Especially if it's at the end of that convention. You know, everybody's buying like the stuff that everybody's crazy about, so there's not often many games left. But that's how we carried Oink games for a while there, which was awesome because those are still hard to get. They actually have a branch in Germany, but we don't have, I don't know how it works in the US, because there are US versions. There's Target versions of some of those games. I don't know if they still are that way, but there was Deep Sea Adventure had a larger box version of the game that they put out that said Oink on it. They might have had a partner here in the States. But yeah, it's a bummer because it used to be so much easier to get stuff. I mean, because it used to be hard, then it got to be easy, and then it's hard again. Yeah, I love to paint. I mean, I wish I had more time. I painted these Tuesday last week, I guess was the last time I painted these. And I've just been so busy with all kinds of things, and so it just makes it a little tougher. But I love to paint them, you know. And it's fun to have them on the show when we play the game. I would like to play, I mean, we'll probably play DC Superheroes United, Hush, Batman Hush, because that one's buyable. This is in the main game box for Multiverse, so this model, so it's gettable, but I didn't get them painted. I mean, we never did the X-Men one, main game box, and I painted those pretty quickly. So yeah, it's not great. I actually have a lot of the first, because I mostly finished the first wave for me, but now I have Scott's and my friends, so I'm gonna have to do them at some point. So you can kind of, I mean, you absolutely can wet blend with the contrast paints. It's not the same level of excitement as a regular wet blend, but it works pretty great. he is, let's see, I have the image here saved from the campaign. Oh man, I really get tired of this. I'm signed out again. And I opened it up when I got on. And I don't understand why this stuff keeps signing me out. Annoying. I mean, I'm the only one that uses this computer. I don't know why it is constantly signing me out of everything. I use passkey. Wow. It was fine. Man, I don't skip. Okay, well, it looks like I'm back in here, but man, what a pain. Thanks so much, Fortuna. I love painting this stuff. I've had some good ones here. I can show you a few others. Maestro, there's Maestro. These are the Batman ones I've been painting. You know, the Batman Hush. I painted the, I think this might have been the first one I painted from that set. It looked great. I was real happy with it. I don't think I varnished that one. Here's Harley. She's fantastic, really neat mini. Here's Robin. He's okay. I mean, it's, you know, it's comic book colors. And I'd be completely honest with you, I'm tired of green and yellow. Superman is not done. I need to work on his face a little bit more, but he turned out, this is the controlled version of him, so I guess he's a villain, I imagine. I don't know. I don't know anything yet. This is Huntress, which I don't know Huntress, but she turned out really cool. Here is Hush, which this one really, I'm really happy with this one. It looks great. And then here is Catwoman. She turned out cool. I really like her goggles. I did varnish that one. And then here is the Joker, and he is varnished, I believe. Turned out good. Really had fun with them. There's only 8 minis in that set. Seven Wonders Dice, Borealis, Rolly, and Cristela ordered. Awesome. Well, Seven Wonders Dice is amazing. I don't know what the roll one that you're mentioning is, James. Rolly. I really like Cristela. I'm glad that you enjoyed. Did you learn it from us? Did you see us play it and realize you wanted it? If that's the case, that's awesome. I hope that somebody will catch on and try to put it out here in the States. I mean, it can't. So I thought it was an Essen release because I had heard nothing. I mean, if you watch the episode, both Amanda and Paula were like, well, when did this game come out? You know, because in their mind it looks a little older, and its art style is a little older looking, but it's not old. But I think it came out at Nuremberg or sometime around there. Schmidt usually has stuff there at Nuremberg, which is great. Whew. Wow, my phone is not charging up. Okay. I think I got green on his eye there. Let me see if I can touch that up. I have the wet palette out, so I'm ready to do those kinds of things. Now I want to use a small brush on this, so I will probably use the 0. You don't want it to be too small. You want to have a little bit of, so you can have moisture and paint in it. This is not a very full belly. It is a 0, but I would prefer, you know, the reality is you just get a larger brush. Let's see, what do I have here? I have this one. Actually, I have this one here from the new one from Army Painter. These are their new bristles. Let's try this. So you really don't need a super tiny brush. Now, this it might be too big, right? Because it's got a big belly. You don't want a lot of paint in it. This is some new synthetic bristles that is supposed to be really great. Adam, friend of ours from Tabletop Minions, really, he was there when they blind tested it and said it was, everybody was impressed about how good it is. Raleigh is from Randolph. Ah, I know Raleigh. I know Randolph. We have Links. I mean, it's my name. I don't know why I don't have it completely remembered. But they did Link 2, maybe is what it is, which I liked. And Nikki worked for Hachette for a little while, for a year and a half or something like that. That was a good job. I'm sad that that one didn't work out. They were, you know, they had, as a matter of fact, they had purchased Randolph and also bought Scorpion Masqué and didn't need people, but they didn't really have anybody that knew the North American market, and they ended up getting somebody else a little bit later. But yeah, Nikki was, I felt, did a really good job for them. Okay, so I was going to paint the eyes. First of all, let's see if I can do it right. There's the distilled water. The new Descent, yeah. I mean, I would love basically, we had a game that we're doing a video for, a sponsored video of one of our In Focus videos, and the main game has lots of minis, and thank goodness they did not, because, you know, we'll get, most of the time we get to keep it when we do those videos. And I was very happy that there weren't any minis in there, because I would absolutely love to have them, but and they looked good to me, but I don't need them. Right off the bat, get it on the eye. Now, I could probably fix that. I mean, on the eyelid. Their marketing person is moving on. Oh, wow. Are they going to another publisher or just into another position at the company? I don't really know anybody. I mean, we had a little bit of conversation with them, but we haven't done really any of their games. We don't get sent the stuff, so we wouldn't know about it. But yeah, they were responsible for North America. And, you know, not to give them any slack, but they don't really know the U.S. market, and nobody does any really. Especially right now, things are just crazy. I'm just sad to see that AMP is, Atomic Mass is scaling back. They're really, I like the stuff. So I think I have too much paint. Oh, they'll only send to USA. How strange. I don't know. I know one of the guys that worked for them was from France, but he was living here in, I think in Oregon. And that was mostly who Nikki worked with. Okay. Well, I mean, the tiny amount that I just used the brush, it sure felt pretty nice, but it is a little big for what I'm trying to do right now. So I don't have any black, but let me try one other thing. I feel this paint is a little too wet. I know the wet palette's probably a little too wet. The good thing is you can basically recover from a bad, like you can keep repainting it. If you flood the area with water and let it dry, that is one of the problems I have where I don't let it dry enough. You can usually fix it pretty easily. And the reality is it's just more practicing to get there. I actually watched a video yesterday from Miniac, and he said exactly the same thing. He's like, you just don't worry about it. I mean, because I definitely do worse on these on the stream than I do on, I'm not sitting in the same position. I generally will be a little lower to the table. Right now, I have a pillow in my chair, and I'm not a short person, but it just needs it. It's challenging. You know, there's just too much. Wow, that's a lot of paint. I don't need that much. You know what? I might paint the base, so I might need this paint today. Man, that is a lot of black paint. Try to do a little droplet. And it's not even thinned yet, but I will leave it as it is for now. But companies resizing everything right now is a downer. Especially because, you know, they took over all of the mini games, I believe, basically from I don't even know what the story is on Atomic Mass. It might have been a sub-brand or something, but they took over all the stuff, the miniature games from Fantasy Flight, which I'm like, well, isn't that just kind of like all their games? So yeah, I should use this smaller brush. It's especially when I'm painting. I mean, I'm always painting I try to paint at the angle. I'm going to let that dry though because that black is fresh. No, I haven't painted one of these. I think that's maybe it's already on the. Probably this guy. He does look a little, I think he was the one I repainted his head gray, so he came out a little darker and grayer because I didn't have the level of contrast that really would be helpful, but I'm not too worried about it. He's gonna look cool. So I'm probably gonna do some glazes of yellow on there to brighten it up a bit. Hey, thanks for the follow, Mormontano. Hope you're having a good night, evening. Those pop up when on our Twitch channel. We have a thing called Stream Elements that helps us, that keeps track of that stuff, which is awesome. Where in the U.S. am I? I am in Southern California. I have lived here the bulk of my life. I was not born here. I was born in Nebraska, which if you're from the United States, you could probably figure out that means I was born in Lincoln, Nebraska. And then, actually, I'm thinking I don't have, something's not here. Nope. Nope. It should have my name on the bottom. Anyway, I was born in Lincoln, Nebraska, but I grew up in Colorado. I don't have a lot of family in Colorado anymore. Several have passed, and I was named after the city. I was named after the city, and I mean, my uncle was named not after the city, but after the county that he was born in, and so my dad thought that was pretty cool. So I was either going to be that or my brother's name, and I got Lincoln. Chris, my brother Chris, has got a more standard name, but I wouldn't change it. Yeah, he's already darker. So let's put that back. I would like to use that brush a little more though, to see what it's like. This is just Dr. Pepper Cherry, which I'm not a crazy for cherry person, but we have gotten into a lot of them lately. There is, I mean, I like Dr. Pepper. That is the one. So when I don't really remember, I was not a crazy soda drinker when I met Nikki. She really liked Dr. Pepper. And when they introduced the sugar-free, which I felt was like the greatest diet ever, I really got into it. And we are the crazy people. There is a thing called harbingers of failure, people that like the things that fail. And we are super fans of things and they fail all the time, which is funny. But we pick the weird ones. And so Dave jokes that he's like, we have tons of flavors of the flavors that you know, but of course we don't have the real flavors. And Dave likes them too. But lately a lot of the things of cherry we bought, there's a new cherry Coke. It's called Cherry Float. And it's okay, but it's like, I don't feel like they needed that when they already have a Cherry Coke version out there. And it just tastes maybe a little bit more vanilla-y, which is fine. I like vanilla Coke and vanilla Diet Dr. Pepper, but Dr. Pepper is my favorite. I really, really enjoy it. Now, I like other stuff. So there's Canada Dry has a new ginger ale that has strawberries. The old one was cherry, of course. Everything is cherry lately. But I think that they're done with that one for now, and they're now doing the strawberry, and the strawberry is very good. Nikki really loves the strawberry. I mean, she loves all of the new, she loves the blackberry, which is similar to one that she used to really love, Dr. Pepper Blackberry. But she really loves the strawberry. She was a huge fan. I think it embarrasses her when I tell people this, but she was a huge fan of berries and cream. And I liked it too. And I believe that was a mid-2000s flavor. And when it disappeared, she wrote and asked, like, is it possible to get it? And they're like, oh, we don't, that one's sold out. I mean, you know, they're done, they're not making it anymore. That was before they were doing, like, they might have been doing some limited flavor things, but. So we basically kind of figured out how to make it. So she could probably make it now with just a mix of a little bit of Dr. Pepper vanilla cream and the blackberry, and it would probably be kind of close. There was also another one that they did, dark berry, that was at least one of the times it came out, it was tied to like one of the Jurassic Park movies a few years back, like 3 years ago now. She felt that was close to the flavor that it was. But yeah, she loved that flavor. I did too. I thought it was really good. Some people said, I think including Dave, that it tasted like medicine. To me, that's what the cherry ones sort of taste like. They're better than they used to be for sure. But Dave loves the cherry things. But we all, so the brothers Murph and Dave and Scott, we all share like the flavors, because we love the crazy flavors. Mountain Dew has been letting me down. For a while there, they had a ton. They had like major melon and some apple one and some other ones. And lately, right now, they have a tropical fruit one that's pretty good. I mean, and it's available in a zero, which I really can only have the zeros. But we love the flavors. We actually have to just get the normal flavors every so often for people. Whenever we have like an event, we will have regular Coke and Diet Coke and regular Coke. Deborah likes the cane sugar Coke. She does not have it a lot at home because her son, they're trying to get their son into not, they're not going to stop him, but they're trying to but he's like, when they do have it, he's like, it's bad, Well, it's probably not great for a growing kid, and it's not great for adults, but I like the diet ones. I love the zeros. All of them are pretty great. I'm not the biggest fan of Coke Zero. I mean, I drink it, and I drink plenty of the flavored Coke Zeros, but when I get it in a fountain, if they have both Coke and Coke Zero and standard Diet Coke, I will mix the two of them. Southern California fascinates me. I live and was born in Germany, but I'm a Spaniard. Oh, wow. Well, it's very Mediterranean here. Adrian from GameNight, who's a sponsor of GameNight, he's from Spain and lives in Germany. He actually lives, I think he splits his time, but and I'm not even sure now because he's now he's still responsible for GameNight. He hasn't given it up, but he's head of branding or something like that for Asmodee. I know he travels a lot and he's got kids, so that's got to be a challenge. So I want to use yellow. I do not want to use Averland Sunset. So what do I have in standard yellows? I have the transparent yellow. I have the crazy yellow from actually, no, it's not crazy. I have the bismuth yellow. I don't know if that's a standard color. I studied art, but I don't remember this color. No, I have not used it, so I'm going to try to glaze and see how I do. One day you'll visit the Americas. Well, it's fun here that it's kind of, everybody's kind of worried about how things are here, but it's generally not a problem. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. It's not, I'm not certain what the point is, and they're generally are not hard on tourists, I don't know. But a lot of people are concerned about, your privacy because they hear about looking at your phone, which I've never seen anybody get their phone looked at, but that's obviously a threat and it could happen. So, I don't know. They're just worried. It's such a strange time. People are worried about folks from other countries, and there's just no reason. We're all from other countries. Yes, I've been in the United States my whole life, but I don't know if my great-grandfather was born here. I think he was. I wish he was still around. But, he was definitely first generation then, U.S. citizen. I don't really, I could ask my aunt. That's the only family member, and maybe some cousins, but I don't have many family members on that side of the family anymore. It's terrible. And my dad's been gone for a long time. Let's see here. I do not want to spill this, but I am looking for the tweezers. I guess I don't have to worry about it. I just don't want it to get clogged up here. So, I will say, if you do come to the United States, you should go, if you're interested, you should go to Florida, because Nikki and I went in December, and I hadn't been for a very long time. Nikki had never been. and we went to all of the parks basically, except for the water parks. Well, we didn't also do SeaWorld, which I guess that counts as a water park, but it has roller coaster stuff. But we went to all the parks in Disneyland and Universal, and my gosh, they're so amazing. We have great ones here too. We have both Universal. Universal's nowhere near as exciting as the ones in Florida, but it's still pretty great. But those are amazing. They have 3 parks for that one, standard parks, and then one new one which we had never. It was brand new. I mean, it's just in the last few, like the last 7 months now, maybe 8 months that it opened, and I'd never been to a park that new. But it was awesome. So what I'm going to do, now I'm wiping it off because I don't want it to be too strong. You need to let it dry, and you just keep layering already, if this is the right one. No, I'm doing the wrong one. I was like, wow, that really looks good. This is the one I want to try to brighten up. So where you lift the brush is where you're going to get the most paint. And you want to be cautious about that. This has got some white in there, I think. That's probably not great. But we'll let it dry. It won't hurt it. Let me try this. Now this white might have a lot of, this yellow might, I mean, this is the bismuth yellow. It's one of Louise from Rogue Hobbies. That's the yellow there. It's very bright. So yeah, it could have a bunch of white in there, but usually that messes with your colors. And Louise actually painted like two color wheels with the 2 different sets. So a CMY one and a RGB one. And it's pretty awesome. And she then gave an example of like painting all of the, trying to match the colors by mixing the Citadel colors with her paints. Now, I believe she studied art, and you know, as did I. I'm pretty good at mixing. I'm not anywhere near as great as she is. But that was the way I used the contrast paints initially, was I only, I'm gonna let that dry. I only had 20 something of them, of the colors. I kept buying more out of the 30 something original ones. And so I had to mix colors to get some of the colors I had. And they work pretty good. They're not great. So I'm painting some nails on him. I'm not certain what they look like, but I want them to be lighter. So I'm going to paint him kind of gray. Just on his thumbs, because that's the only ones I believe you can see. So I'm just putting a little droplet of it on there, just to make it look different and stand out. Like, this is only for me because nobody is going to care, but you'll probably see it. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't understand what's going on. I think it's just that things are getting a little strange and people are looking for answers, and it's not great. I did not pay attention to our State of the Union And to be honest with you, I didn't really ever pay that much attention to them, but I particularly haven't watched these. It's just that I don't know what is going on. And it's a downer because, you know, I was very excited by the way things had been going. You know, we have friends in Russia that we had gotten to know through board gaming, and, you know, I'd like thought about going, visiting and doing stuff there. And then our friend Jennifer went and did an escape room thingy, like event there that was for a good amount of time, and it was just all so exciting. And it was just it was neat to see everything kind of joining in together. You know what? I need to paint the nail on all of the guys. Why am I not doing that? Anyway, yeah, and it was a downer. I mean, you know, there's other things going on, but it was really awesome. Worked with a Russian publisher that did some really great stuff during the pandemic, and we helped them present things. And it was cool. You know, I mean, all that stuff was really cool. Let's hope it all can come back soon. Nikki and I are huge, really big fans of Deichkind, and went to see them when we were there in 2022. And that was really awesome. And, you know, they were very outspoken and supporting immigration and things like that. I mean, that's I mean, here's the deal. I don't know what's going on. I feel most people do not want to be harsh to people that are immigrating here, because those folks really contribute to our country. I mean, we're all immigrants, but they really contributed. And, you know, things are not great because of that. We'll see. Hopefully things will get better. Economy be bad. That's another tough thing, yeah. Wow, for 5 months, that's terrible. Yeah, hopefully that'll improve too. I gotta tell you, you know, Nikki and I are both creatives, and the AI stuff is kind of terrifying. And, you know, I had a friend, I went to it was a retro computer festival, and he was talking about, he did a seminar about using AI to code. And it was really interesting, and I understand all of that, but I just, you know, now he's a coder and it helped him. That's, to me, the right level. And he's a creative too, by the way. He's amazing. Really quite great artist. And as a matter of fact, if you've ever seen, and if you haven't, you should go watch it, our Headbands episode. He made those puppets. And those are like kind of the basic kind of puppets he does. He does amazing stuff. And, you know, and he's a big fan of using that AI tool. Now, I don't know how much all that, you know, affects his work. You know, he's a coder and a project manager. But I understand, you know, I mean, it's like, it's just, the problem is it's not, I mean, it can be, but it's a challenge for everybody to work when others that do not have the training can basically, I mean, it definitely democratizes it, right? That don't necessarily have the artistic talent or training to do that great. But if you can figure out how to do the prompts and stuff, and I mean, it's crazy. There's right now on YouTube, I watched it at the beginning of the month. There's this thing that Time Magazine and Darren Aronofsky, I don't think I mean, it's his company that's doing it, but it's a showing 250 years ago, 1776 days or whatever in that time. And there were 2 videos at the time. And I want to watch them. As a matter of fact, I think on the Cristalla one, I kind of talked about it. So that was like the 8th of February, I think. So it had been out for a few days, but it's intriguing and it looked amazing, but like it is also worrisome. Like actors out. They did use actors for the voices. I definitely don't like it, the AI voiceover stuff. It's just not great. Yeah, it's weird. That's the biggest concern for me. Like, we don't have universal basic income in place. So how do folks work? How do they provide? It's very, very strange. I just did a little bit of glazing over there, very light. It's okay. I might have gone a little too soon, but it's okay. I wanted to just see if this helped brighten it up. It needs more for sure, and I will try to thin. This is the layering is not thin enough. Yeah, Daikin, we really love them. Our friends from Germany introduced us to them 8 years ago, and I was like, wow, these guys are great. And they put on a great show. They had went to go, I mean, they'd seen him before, but they went to go literally right when the lockdowns were happening. They went to Leipzig and saw him in concert, and we were like jealous. And then when we went to visit, I think we didn't go in 2021. We did not. But we ended up going to Germany twice in 2022 because what had happened was we were going to go for our friend's big birthday in 2020 to go see Kraftwerk. She'd never seen them and wanted to go, and we'd seen them many times. Was that our last time? I guess it was the last time we saw them. Wow, 2022. It's almost 4 years ago. Anyway, we went in August though. So anyway, they kept delaying that concert, and finally it was put back live, and she's like, are you guys coming? I'm like, yes, we're coming. And then she wrote us, she's like, hey, you know, Daikin's playing the night before at the same venue. They had like a temporary venue in the heart of Bonn. And so I'm like, yes, we want to go. We were dreaming we would hopefully ever get a chance to see them live. And they were great. A good German beer? Well, you have to drink that with Nikki. I do not drink. I have never... Nikki loves German beer. She's not a heavy drinker, but she loves Weiss beer and other stuff. You know, she's just enjoys it and loves the local stuff. So she gets the advice from the people that do drink, but I don't drink. I never enjoyed it, and I also, the few times I've tried it, it was never very interesting to me. My dad, who knows if it was his intentional, but he was like, when we were young, he's like, oh, try this. It's like, you know, wine. Doesn't taste like anything, you know, and we're like, oh, this is terrible. And then I think we were in New Orleans, he had a daiquiri, and it was like, no, thank you. I don't even remember what's in a daiquiri. Rum, maybe? I don't know. But I tasted it and I was not interested. And so then we got a virgin daiquiri. I was very excited about that, which is just, you know, a strawberry, I think it was a strawberry, what do you call them? Like a icy or something like that, or a slushy. Yeah. Yeah, that's better already. I do need to let it dry. I need to blend it in a little bit more up front. It's punching out the green. It was a little too matte because I didn't have enough contrast in the undercoating because I just hand painted instead of the airbrushed one. Let me show you. Well, you can see like the shading that you get from the airbrushing, and I like to have that come through, and I put a little bit more in the faces because I want the faces to be brighter. Yeah, he looks cool. But yeah, we'll probably be at Essen. We definitely, I mean, I had only missed, I'd been going since 2009, and the only year I missed was 2020, of course, because they didn't have an actual in-person one. And then 2021, I went to Gen Con, and, you know, it was crazy, and I felt uncomfortable in the crowds. And I did go to a concert. I went to go see Rob Zombie because a friend of ours knows him and works with him, and he's like, and he's a public game publisher. He's like, do you want to go? And I'm like, well, I really want to hang out with you, so I guess I'm going. And we were the only people wearing masks. But I got to meet Rob Zombie, and that was fun, and it was a great show, really great show. But after I was done, I was like, you know what? I think I've taken enough risks, and so I didn't go to Spiel. And I had heard like a lot of publishers are not going to have. They were going to be there, but like a lot of the folks were not showing up, like people that we would need to talk to. So then I went back in 2022. So I missed those 2 years. Then I went 2022, 2023, and 2024, and now we skipped 2025. So it's very weird, but it's okay. I mean, I love Essen. It's an amazing show, but it's travel. I mean, you know, as we're all getting older and dealing with our older parents and all that stuff, it's just a tremendous amount of effort. And I fractured my heel. So 2024, I went around with like a knee scooter and did all the meetings I could and collected games for the BG library. So it was challenging. Tiny Wars. Hey, your wife has a green card, so it's been a complete terror. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, so you're in Minneapolis? This is terrible. I am so sorry. That is the part, here's the deal. If they want to have those folks and investigate that stuff, they need to be trained. That's really what it comes down to. I'm sure some of them are trained, but that just doesn't seem right. Nothing about that seems right, and it's terrible. That is one of the most shameful and terrible things lately, and it's really a bummer. And rightfully they're getting. I mean, I don't even want to get into it. That's just terrible. It is really awful. Somebody who was helping somebody and then changing the rules a little bit, really not great. You know, because, I don't know. I can't get into it. It's just awful. I mean, it's crazy how much stuff has happened in Minneapolis lately. You know, there was the whole, in 2020, we had the George Floyd, really terrible situation. And then to have Renee Good and Alex Preddy, you know, it's awful. There's no reason for those deaths, any of them. So I don't know. Sorry to bring everybody down. It's worrisome. Because I feel our country works best when we work together. There's no reason that we can't. So we'll see. So I'm trying to make his head look a little smoother. It's not going that great. I mean, here's the deal. You have to keep layering it on, and then you coat it to kind of integrate it with a wash or another glaze of, you know, like basically with a shade is what a lot of people like to use. And, you know, contrast paints and speed paints can be used as shades, especially if you use the contrast medium, and it works perfectly well. But this already looks better. It's way greener, way more yellow. You can absolutely see some color, but it does. It does seem to be a little low. It was very crowded and stressful, and it's a highlight for the German board gamers. Yeah, I mean, we were there. Schweinshaxe. What is Schweinshaxe? It's got to be something with pig, right? Beer with Nikki. Yeah, she's awesome. Coke Light. Yeah, I like the Coke Light. It's funny to me how expensive. Well, I guess it's different now. Like, you know, it used to be that beer would be cheaper than water and soda, and that's absolutely not the case here in North America. I mean, that's the one thing. My benefit is I don't drink and I don't smoke, and I don't take drugs, so I live a pretty inexpensive life. Wow, that yellow is everywhere now, but it'll be a thinner shade then, I guess. On my palette, it's really messy. It's okay. I tried to put like a little droplet of it and just made a huge bubble of it. I don't really need to do this much glazing, but I will do it this way. But yeah, the one thing I actually am disappointed about at Spiel now is there's not as much used game stalls. There used to be some great ones. And one guy that was local who would bring, you'd ask him for something and then he would bring it the next day if he had it. It was amazing. I found many games. An example of one in 2010 was, I really like Michael Renick's games. He has that new one, Skybridge, that he did with Franz Volwinkel, who's a illustrator. It's Franz's only game design so far. He did a game called Der Pate, which is a Godfather-themed game. And I bought it. And then I bought it, and we really needed it for the library. We did not get a library copy, so I let the BG library have it. And then I just thought, I'll get it next year. Well, you can't do that mostly with those types of games that are licensed, and I did not find it. It took a while. And I can't remember exactly. There was another game I was looking for at the same time, and I think Scott and our friend Doug found that other game one of the days, which was amazing because he knew what I was looking for, and he would ask, and they would laugh, and they're like, "No, we don't have it." And then one day it was just sitting there, and then one day I went past it. We were near these booths, and I went past it, and there Pate was. So they probably had just bought it, and so I bought it and took it and put it in my collection. I don't have all of his games. I do wish I did, but I love Around the World in 80 Days, and he did Hexer von Salem, which is the Witcher of Salem, which is great, and so those are some. He did Pillars of the Earth, I think. Is that correct? People in Minnesota don't put up with bullies. That's good. I'm with them, and it's not great. I don't think I've ever been to Minnesota. Nikki went, as a matter of fact, I think in 2022 for actually a game for a convention for Hachette. She went to Astra. And I was contemplating going, but I didn't go. It was not going to be the kind of con for me. Although, what we were trying to do, we market our videos, it might have been. I think that they had relaxed the mask requirement at that show for her, and she was nervous. She was watching us play games. I think that was when my mom came here, so that was 2022. Is that right? No, it had to be 2021. It's when I went to Gen Con. My mom was, I think, staying with us because she had fallen. That might have been the time frame. And so she was playing. She tried to play Marvel United with me and Scott and just could not understand it. See, now I'm bumping the knee here. This is frustrating. This is my own foolishness, handling it too much. That's too white. Too white. But yeah, you've got to be careful. Now this is primed, and I'm using primer. Both colors are, the black and the white and the gray are all primers, and they are having some issues. So I've got a little bit of green here that I'm going to touch up because that, well, that's actually, no, it's purple. I would want to make sure that that shows through properly. I definitely, this is a very big mini. I should absolutely just be using the handles. I have 2 handles. I mean, I have way more than 2 handles, but I have 2 handles on my desk. So I should just switch to these. I'm not painting the rims, so. I mean, it looks okay. Maestro. I don't know anything about Maestro. Oh, Mercator is a Uwe Rosenberg game? I thought it was somebody else. Interesting. How you doing, Randall? I'm amazed you're getting any gaming in because busy time of the year for you. It really does look like there's quite a bit of white in this yellow. It tends to muddy colors when you mix them, you know, like not muddy, but it definitely reduces the intensity. Gosh, let me look at Mercator. I may be remembering the wrong game. Or Mercator. Okay, let me look it up. My phone should be closer to being charged. Although I don't know if I have a very fast charger right here. I do not. You know what? It's not charging. That would be the reason why. Bummer. Okay, well, it's okay. I don't let it usually sit on the charger overnight. $2010, huh? Oh, Lookout Games. I remember this one now. I do not have it, and I've never played it. Very cool. I mean, he had a relationship with Lookout. You know, they did a lot of games together. Oh, there's somebody found that. So Jeff Allers, who's a game designer, asked a question on the game how somebody was able to put, and Norman Hale responded and gave the link to the rules. So anyway, that's cool. He was wondering how Gabby was able to place. I mean, Gabby had some really great luck. She drew the right stuff and then had a bunch of the wilds, essentially, the shell or the starfish. So her first game was amazing. Her second game was not as good. And I'm sure Nikki and I ganged up on her a little bit. I don't think that's really the case. We just had the opportunity to do the passing a tile to the other player. That's the weird thing. It's only to your left. And you kind of want to... So Nikki had to hit her, and then I had to hit Nikki. I like that, though. I think it's a neat game. That's what I like about Cristalla, that I really love the Mancala thing on that one. It's really awesome. So one thing I do sometimes to brighten things underneath is use a fluorescent color. I've used the red on like a cloak. Where is that? Oh, it's actually it wasn't red, it was purple. So on this cloak, Immortus here, I painted it with a, like this, I think it was Moonlight Coral, new color to me at the time, and I like this color. And I airbrushed it and tried to make it look nice. And then I put, I layered a lot of layers of the purple. And then I went back over it with a wash of the Moonlight Coral, and it brings it down. But it really does a pretty good job. It's very comic booky. That might not be the best one of the three, since I'm painting 3 of everything. That one looks a little better, but they look great. And that works really well. I know I had never done the fluorescence. That was actually a video from Vincent Venturella where he was talking about using it as the highlight, and like, oh wow. Now he was, you know, he uses lots of the colors. He uses both, I mean, lots of different paints. He's really pretty amazing painter. And a nice guy. He's friends with Adam. Adam actually makes games with him. And we met him, and I was knocked out about how tall he was. Because I only see his videos where he's sitting, well, this is the older videos at the time. I think I've seen him standing around in some of the later videos when he's like had an event at his place. But he's great. He's been doing his hobby cheating videos for ages, and I don't know exactly what he does, if he has a regular job or if I don't know, but it was amazing. And his stuff is just great. He teaches a lot of great stuff. Always a bit of time for a game. No, it's cool. Nikki didn't get to go because she wasn't feeling great, but we did. I went to the Games Day, SoCal Games Day, at the, I can't remember if it was the end of January or the beginning of February. And it was great. I hadn't been in ages. Ooh, see now, you can see here, there's like a little bit of, let me see if you can see it, kind of tied, you know, this is from, and I'm not great at it, this is from the layering. But I should be able to smooth that out with the wash. We'll see. Oh, you know what? I want to put that back on the charger. Make sure it's charging. It is charging. Maybe it'll do a little bit. I just want it to be able to be overnight and wake me up tomorrow when I need to. I got to do my walk in the morning. Yeah, that's a bummer. Let me see. So one thing I can do is knock it down a little bit I do it with a damp toothpick. That's doing it. You have to be careful because these contrast paints and these speed paints are thin. And so you really need to do a varnish on them. I mean, at least in my opinion. I was watching some video of a creator recently, and he was saying he doesn't really varnish them. Like, I think it was The State of Play. He's interesting. But I'm like, I don't believe in that. Definitely to wash. Okay, so this was what I was supposed to be doing, which was the nails. So I have what they call a Swedish sponge over here that I've been using for a long time. That's actually pretty great at wicking paint off when you're doing the when you're painting. I use paper towels, but I don't feel they're as great as this Swedish sponge. As a matter of fact, it might have been The State of Play. No, it wasn't him. It was another YouTube video. I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about those. I wished IKEA sold them because I bet you they'd be standard and relatively inexpensive. I mean, they're not very expensive and they last a long time. I have a very pink one here next to me that has been fine. The cool thing about Spiel now for us is BGG's back to having a booth there. They had a booth this year, and we were helping with the booth the year before, although I really couldn't do much. I basically helped them thin out our, we had storage lockers that we had before in 2019, and we did our rebranding and at Gen Con 2019, and then, you know, we had new logos, new front page design, and some other stuff. And we had a not as great of a representation of that at Spiel, but it was pretty good. And then we left all that stuff in a booth. And some of that stuff, I'm really sad that we got rid of it. It was really fantastic. I would have loved to get them here, but it would have been just cheaper for us to order it. But we don't need it here in our studio. It's not enough space for it. It was a rig for lighting, but it was amazing for our streaming. It was really amazing. We had a bounce up there to diffuse the light, and we used the lighting from the hall and lighting that we had, and then we had the cameras up above. It was really great for both conventions. It was because I think we just used the same rig and sent it to Germany, which is crazy, but it's expensive, like to get stuff at the cons. So I need a dark color on the edge of those nails. If I'm gonna maybe go with a black here, or a very, very dark gray. See if I can pull it off. I just would like to outline it so you know what's going on there. That's okay, not great. You need to really orient the miniature to let you do the strokes properly. Okay, I can fix that a little bit better. Wow, that's terrible. Because it's such a wash, I'm losing some of the color. It's blending. You know what? I probably just painted that one. I probably should give it some time. I definitely did the other ones with the... Well, let's see if I can pull it off here. Shouldn't be hard. I might be needing to use the smaller brush. Nikki helped her parents clear out a storage locker. They actually weren't helping, it was her and her brother. And they thought that the mattress, they had a mattress in there, they thought was her grandmother's mattress, and it turns out it was Nikki's mattress from, you know, that they bought her 40 years ago or something like that. And is that right? Maybe not that long. But Nikki's like, that's not Grandma's mattress, that's mine. So they probably thought when we moved in together that she would be back. Sorry. I hit with my finger. Yeah, Agricola is a pretty awesome one. It's not one of the top ones of mine. If I'm going to pick one of his, of the more complicated. I mean, I like a bunch of them, bunch of games. But if I'm going to pick of some of the more complicated ones, I would probably choose. I would choose. Feast for Odin. I really love Feast for Odin. But I love his older games. Bonanza is one of my favorites. I like Patchwork a lot. That's great. There's more. We played a bunch on the shows over time. He's got really an interesting career. How his designs have evolved, and oh my gosh, what's the one that we like? Tulip Mania, that nobody likes. I think that's the name of it. And we just loved it. Dave was like, I like this game. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And we got some people not happy that we did it. I believe it might have been on BGA or something. I'm not sure how Dave played it. It might have been one of those ones that you could potentially play. It's been a while since we played it, but it might be one of those ones that you can potentially play with a mocked up version of the game. I don't remember. I was joking though, that it was like, I might have been on a stream. I'm like, well, we got a Uwe Rosenberg game coming up. And people were not happy. That works. Those little thumbnails. The silly things that I worry about. Never played Feast for Odin. I should. Bonanza is a beer and pretzel classic. So much fun. It's great puzzles that you're playing in your head 3 days later. Gosh, we actually liked New York Zoo, I think is the name of that. Was a fun one. We played two-player during the pandemic. Did I get all of them? Nope, I didn't do this one yet. He's a really nice guy too. And we have a friend that works for Feuerland, which is, I think Uwe is involved in that one. So I splashed a little bit of the color onto his hair, which I don't want. So I'll put that on there, and it's going to be a wash. So I've been painting little streaks of hair, like lighter streaks going into his skin. I think that'll look pretty good if you can see that there. I think that helps. I hated New York Zoo. It was the beginning of Rosenberg's lazy copy and paste. I don't know. I thought that was fun. I've not played. I mean, I know he did like Indian Summer and gosh, I don't remember those. And those are okay. Those are all fine. I mean, I like when he does those types of games too. Indian Summer, Summer Cottage. I think there were 3 of those. A little too wide. But I want to make that mustache a little bit. This is the one that I like. You can see there's still a little bit of green on his tongue where I touched it when I was painting something else. You got to keep them far apart. That was just really foolish of me. Okay, I feel that that is washed enough. So let's just do a little bit of this as a green shade. That looks a little better already. So I'll let it dry and maybe do that once more. It's okay, I'm not really ecstatic with the creases on his brow, of his nose there. They're a little too wide, but whatever. Hey Scott, this is Maestro. So I'm painting a couple of them. He is a Hulk variant, I guess, maybe a villain, I don't know. Hey, look, it's got on that one too, on the hair. A little too much. Let me see if I can fix that. Cool. That's mostly there. Coffee table games. So he's in the main box of Marvel United Multiverse. I am really bummed about Atomic Mass, though. I mean, they're not going away, but I really want to. That's kind of the, and I can get into Shatterpoint. It's not a big deal, it's not going away. It's just not going to get as much attention. And ultimately, it's probably for the best, right? That there's not a ton of that's interesting to, new things for me, because I just don't need that much more stuff. Nikki got me a couple of the expansions for that. They got the Inquisitors, I think. Which is exciting. I'd like to paint those. They have lightsabers and stuff, so they are cool. I mean, I have the Thor here the Mighty Thor. That, I think it's Mighty Thor. Mighty Thor might be Jane. And, the minis are pretty cool. I need to put him together and prime him. Not dark enough. Not dark enough and not opaque enough. Cool. So I'm painting a little bit of a bright stroke that when the next wash goes over it, hopefully it will even those out a little bit so they're not so strong. Have to let that dry for a while before I put another wash on it though. Might be too wide. Just watched the Crystallis teach and I'm excited. Not enough Mancala games and I love tableau billing. Awesome, James. It's really fun. I really enjoyed it. It was a shock how much I enjoyed it. I mean, it looked interesting. We picked it up. I can't remember if it was Steph Hodge that recommended or if we just looked at it. Because we generally, at the end of the convention, will go and look at games that we would like to try to do for the show, and it's all, our eyes are bigger than our stomach almost always. But that was one that I thought looked pretty good. We actually remembered to play it, and Nikki thought we'd already played it on the show. I'm like, no, we just did the live. I can't remember if we got something wrong on that one. initially. Oh yeah, I got, Nikki handed me a one of the tiles that I had to cover up something else, and I just covered up with the same color that I already had. You know, I covered up the same color, and you're not allowed to do that. So we did get that right on the show. Huh. Are the game night different than the live streams? Yeah, we don't, you know, the live streams are just us picking a game and playing it and chatting with everybody. When we do game night, the shows, we, you know, it's way more produced, and we edit it to, the cuts are better, and try to zoom in on things. We don't really get to do that easily on, we do have that one little zoom cam on our live streams, but it's, you know. So you can see I'm putting the, it's not enough, but it's already knocking down the white. So I'll put a little bit more on there. And it should be fine. It's a little wide there. It's funny, I'm putting some of the green back on it, but I just am widening it up a little bit. It's okay. There's a, for whatever, and you know, that one is probably because some of the detail has been removed because I repainted his forehead. So I'm trying to match something that is slightly different. And you know, the minis actually aren't always exactly the same. One of the good things about the live streams is it just gives us an opportunity to check a game out. Thanks, James. Part of this is just the contrast you know, the zenithal highlighting helps a lot. I'm spending a little bit more time on, I mean, I really wanted his skin to be a little bit more yellow, which is what they've got going on the original paint job. I would say I've put enough effort into that. I will fix, it's already better here where I touched it up. I could probably do another rinse. So I have a very, very thin version of the paint on the wet palette. Yeah, that looks way better. So I'm probably going to go with this as it is for the skin. Oh, his ear. Holy cow. How did I miss that? That's not good. That's not good at all. Wow. I'm glad I looked. I could just say that he has a lot of hairs growing out of his ear. That is the only ear we can see, but holy cow, did I do any of them? Nope. That's pretty funny. Again, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm probably going to paint a few more little edges of the white on his beard and hair before I put the wash. It's almost like, it looks like here, sort of like her bubbles. You know, it's smoke. It looks like it's a similar color. So I might, I'll have to figure that out. I don't even remember what it was that I used. I think I used a thinned out skeleton horde maybe, or something like that. Nope, too dark. I just want to make that a little less green on there. Ugh. Tiny bit on his skin. How do the thumbs look? I did not finish that one, I don't think. Keep meaning to get to it, and I'm not doing it. I will say I didn't have enough paint. That is the answer. I didn't have enough paint. It needs to have a little bit of fluid for me to actually get it off of the brush. It's not really, let me move these. It's not coming off the brush as smoothly as I'd like, and I have a relatively fine line here. Not dark enough. Although, yeah, it doesn't have to be like a super bold straight line. I'm just trying to give you like the impression of the end of the nail. Huh. Well, let me just paint this and I'll try to put a bit of a pale on the nail over it. It's too thick. It's sort of too transparent. That should be fine. Cool, okay. Take care, Fortuna. Have a good one. Don't stay up to get some rest. I know it's already too late. It's now 5 in the morning for you. Going to bed at dawn. Ah. It's not even that visible here. Oh, I think you should, well, I mean, I know you probably want to thin it out, but I would save them unless we come up with a good storage for them, the Marvel United. Because I intend to get you these minis sooner rather than later. I really want to get you the first wave so that you can play. But I'm obviously working on, I wanted to work on the newer stuff. So I'm working on the Multiverse ones. The real goal is I can actually spend some time in the evenings every so often here to just paint some of the ones I'm not doing on the stream. Oof, that's not good. Ah. I did see, I believe on Etsy, a guy who has a system to store the minis. And in that case, you know, obviously it would be, you don't need the boxes. It's the whole thing. I mean, minis and cards. So I don't know what the, I'm tempted to buy one and put it together and see how it works, but could be cool because I really have no idea how I want to store all this. I like the boxes though. I mean, I like the art, so it makes it challenging, you know what I mean? I really don't need, it's a lot of empty space ultimately when you think about it. There are some bigger minis in some of these boxes, but so I don't know if he did, I think he did the, or mentioned it in the, talking about the Multiverse one on his page. Okay. definitely not as finely grained here on this hair that I've done on the like I've done on the other ones. That's the call my mom thing. Okay, well, let me snooze this, and I will. Oh, yeah, it did it for me. I think I said it and it did it. That's the AI for you, or the. Cool. Well, these look pretty great. Maybe a little bit more green to darken them up a bit on the edges, and I feel like his arms look pretty. This one is not bright enough. Let me see if I can, before I give up here. I want a little bit more brightness on his arms, but I don't want to do too much. Okay. I need to clean my brushes. I used this one and this one. Cool. Well, there you go. Thanks for joining me. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope to. I have things to do. We are trying to pull games, and I need to be very good about it. Where are those glasses? There they are. I can see things away from me. Cool. Awesome. Again, thanks for joining me. Thanks for the chatter. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Let's see if there's somebody I could... Did you go on Tron? What does that mean, Sirk? Did you go on Tron? Oh, the ride, yes. I'm sorry. At Florida, yes. It was neat. It's short, though. It looks amazing. It was about, I felt 20 seconds too short. Literally, I'm like, I don't, if you should try it, but it's like, there's a story to it, and you're like, oh, cool, and then no. So it was a little disappointing, but it was still awesome. It looks amazing. The whole pavilion for that's really awesome. The issue for me, though, is they need to do something with Tomorrowland. I know they tried. So when I was, goodness gracious, 30 some years ago, I went to school over the summer in Oxford, and then I went to Paris after that, and I was not going to go to Disneyland or Disney, Euro Disney or whatever, Disneyland Paris. It might have been Disneyland Paris at that time. I was not going to go because, you know, we have it here. And then I was a little frustrated with the French, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go to Disneyland. And I went by myself, took the train there. It was great. It's really neat. It's very different. But what they did is they had Discoveryland, and that was a different take on Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland is a challenge, right? Like, how do you keep it looking modern and whatever? And it needs it. It needs something. They tried to do it here at Disneyland in LA, in Anaheim, and it didn't look great. It was okay. They really need to figure that out, because it just doesn't look good. It's really kind of a downer. That pavilion is nice, but the rest of that portion of the park is not great. And it's got more going on than the one in LA, in Anaheim. The Anaheim one really needs help. Thankfully, like, the new version of Star Tours is pretty nice, but it still looks about the same outside. It's really, they need to put some thought on it. I honestly have no idea, like, what they could do to make that better, but they sure could use it. That was great. I mean, the Magic Kingdom is nice, but I will tell you, you know, I hadn't been for 30 years or whatever. It's not well, they're younger, the parks, the Universal ones. They're like 26 years old is the oldest one. But they're slightly more interesting. Maybe it's just because it's new to us mostly. There is a Harry Potter, like 2 Harry Potter rides here in LA, and we've been on them. That ride made me nauseous, though, when I rode it 6 years ago or something like that. So when I rode it this last time, I took Bonine Dramamine. That was something Nikki figured out, and that actually helped. I did that when we went to the roller coasters at Cedar Point. Had no problems. I mean, you know, once in a while it was a little, as long as I just took it easy, I was fine. But boy, back in the day, I used to have no problem. And all of a sudden, motion sickness, you know. So I really kind of put a damper on my roller coaster stuff. But this last year, I did a bunch. I did a little bit more here. I felt they were a little bit more aggressive at the ones in Florida. But still, it was all really cool. All of it's really neat. And of course, Star Wars Rise of Resistance is incredible. Both versions, they're a little, the ride itself is the same, basically. But the atmosphere around it's really nice, because the one at Florida is in Hollywood Studios, Disney Hollywood Studios or whatever. So it's a little more artificial, where the one here in Anaheim, you walk in and you're supposed to be going to Disney, you're supposed to be going to Batu or whatever it is called. And it's really amazing job. Anyway, let me see who we can raid. If there's anybody we can raid. Looks like Bonds is going. Actually, I need to go to the creator dashboard / probably nope, stream manager. I wish that was like visible. But yeah, it was great. Nikki really enjoyed it. She'd never done any of that stuff, so it was really awesome. Okay. Huh. Board at Home's been going for about an hour. Let's see if we can do that one. So say hello for me when you go on there. If you want to join in, you can click to go through. It would be great if you're on Twitch. YouTube, thanks, you unfortunately can't do it. But I wish YouTube had these kind of tools as well. Anyway, so go ahead. We got 8 people that want to join on. Say hello for me, and you have a great weekend and great evening. Take care, everybody. Okay, YouTube people, thanks so much for joining me as well. You guys have a great weekend, and